hear a story? Because I've got a fine one here. Ready? Here we go.
Once upon a time, also known as 1884, Nicholas II and Princess Alix of Hesse, or Alexandra, fell in love. He was a mere 16 years old, and she was just a little girl of 12. What seemed fine and dandy wasn't really so. As years passed, Nicholas was in the midst of an affair with another woman. Although their affection was genuine, he deeply yearned for Alix. November 26, 1894, was the day that Alix and Nicholas would never forget. They made their love official by taking each other's hand in marriage. Unfortunately, while preparing for the wedding, they were also mourning the death of Nicholas's father, Tsar Alexander III. Following a day of celebration, the two decided to make the Alexander Palace their home.
Nicholas II came to the throne in the year of 1894, inheriting not only an empire, but a form of government, autocracy. He had authority over every aspect of his subjects' lives. He was Russia. By 1895, Alexandra was pregnant. Although they hoped for a boy to carry on the line of succession, it was a girl. Her name was Olga, a fat but splendid child, with rosy cheeks and a head full of hair. A huge bureaucracy formed, backed up by the army, the church, and the secret police, which enforced the Tsar's command. In January 1895, Nicholas's St. Petersburg speech reasserted the theory of absolute rule. He is quoted to have said,
"I shall maintain the principle of autocracy just as firmly and unflinchingly as it was preserved by my unforgettable late father."
His words crushed the hopes of many Russians who wished for a more liberal leader. This speech is considered one of the final events leading up to the Russian Revolution of 1917, as it led to the founding of the Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party, which later divided into the Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. The reign of Nicholas II began and ended in disaster. He was unsteady and had to rely on God, his mother, his uncles, and wife to guide him.
Between 1897 and 1901, Nicholas and Alexandra had 3 more daughters, Tatiana, Marie, and Anastasia. Although they loved their daughters, they were still hoping for a boy. Their prayers were answered on August 12, 1904, when Alexandra gave birth to Tsarevich Alexei, a boy, the heir! Everything was perfect. Or so they thought. Alexei was soon diagnosed with hemophilia, a genetic blood disease transmitted from his mother, and fatal in every case. The family was in great despair. As Alexei grew up, he learned to be a normal boy, but it took him months to recover after every hemophiliac attack.
Meanwhile, the Russian-Japanese War of 1904 was taking attention away from the Romanov family. Although the Trans-Siberian Railroad was completed in Russia by 1904, it didn't supply efficient transportation facilities crucial in reinforcing scarce armed forces in Manchuria. On the other hand, Japan had been steadily expanding its army and gained superiority over Russia in terms of the number of troops in the Far East. After Russia went back on their word in 1903 on an agreement to take its troops out of Manchuria, Japan decided it was time to take action. It all started with the Japanese naval attack on Port Arthur in Manchuria. One of the causes was both Japan and Russia's determination to develop domination in the Far East. The result was that Japan forced Russia to get rid of its expansionist policy in the Far East. Japan became the first Asian power in modern times to defeat a European power.
The loss at Port Arthur was the last straw that brought about the Russian social upheaval. The protesters were in desperate need of a leader. One fine day, their needs were fulfilled. A priest by the name of Father Gapon led a huge march to the Winter Palace. Here they offered a petition to the Tsar, calling for fundamental reforms. On the eve of the protest, which was Saturday, January 21, 1905, Nicholas II was informed of the soon-to-come march. If he had known earlier, there would have been the possibility that he could have met the protesters' needs. But what happened instead was that the Russian Interior Minister ordered extra troops into the city, producing an opportunity for bloody atrocities. What began as a peaceful march, with more than 100,000 striking workers, progressed into an open fire. Hundreds of people were killed in this massacre. It is no wonder this event became known as Bloody Sunday, the catalyst for the revolution of 1905. Nicholas didn't even find out about the tragedy until it was already over. His one and only comment on the matter was a note in his diary saying the event was painful and sad.